Hi everyone. So today we're talking with Matthew, one of our former student who is currently studying in UCLA. He is a rising junior. Matthew, if you have to describe UCLA in about three words, like what would it be?
Well, I guess for me, it would be quite different from other people. I came in from, you mentioned I was a junior, but I did 2 years of national service before going to college. So actually, my year is graduating this year. But I think because of that, I would say UCLA is always fresh, intense, and fun. So I think those 3 words.
Nice.
The fresh is more for me because it was just such a different environment coming out of the army into that kind of school.
Right. Because you were in a national service.
Yes, I was in infantry, so coming to sunny Westwood straight after spending 2 years in the jungle, you could say the environment still feels very fresh to me.
Mhm. Oh, nice. Okay, that's good perspective. Coming back to high school, what type of student were you?
I think I was very I think I followed my heart a lot. I had a lot of interests growing up during high school, whether it was like sports, I played basketball, volleyball, and badminton. So I was always chasing time to play those 3 sports. Now, obviously, as any high schooler, I'm not sure about. So I sound so old, but I'm not sure about now. But we all used to play a lot of video games back then, Valorant, CS:GO. So I love playing those games. Um, I just I guess relation to that, I just was the type to follow my heart. Do the best that I think I could, but I always wanted to. I was always quite cognizant that high school is a limited time, and I wanted to look back my time in high school fondly. So I guess maybe in comparison to other students who really tried very hard, I tried very hard to make memories as well. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And in terms of getting your inspiration when you were younger, who did you take your inspiration from?
Okay, so I know what I just said was very fun and like very, oh, he's the type of guy to like type of high school student to like play around a lot, which I was. But my inspiration is definitely my mom. Definitely very different to the type of high school student I was at the time. Just for some context, she's a very career oriented woman, a very much a go getter person. And so I think as I progressed through high school, and when I figured out that I made sufficient fun memories, and when I had to get down to the business of getting into a good school, I took a lot of inspiration from her and her attitude for sure.
And like in terms of a specific moment in high school when you were trying to apply for like a top university, like what was that moment like? Why you wanted to try to apply to a school like UCLA?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's always been something in the back since I was young, something in the back of my mind. My mom, she again very much a go getter. She was again some more background. She was a double degree at Northwestern, and so since we were young, she did emphasize that there should be some level of expectation in terms of getting into a top school. It's just simply her wish. So growing up, I always knew that that would be a goal of mine. I just think looking back, maybe around maybe the time was around grade 10. So near the end of IGCSE, as I was entering IB, as I went to ACS. So back then they only offered IGCSE and IB. So I think about when I was entering IB, definitely the conversations started ramping up. When essays were around the corner, application deadlines were opening. Um, there was a moment of realization where I was like, oh, okay, like the fun is over now. It's time to like actually go and get the prophesized job done, so to speak, and go and get into a top school. So I think I'm sure there's a lot of other kids knowing here in India, there's a lot of moms probably who have the similar expectations. So I think definitely quite a common story maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, that was
Okay.
it for me.
And in terms of your academics in high school, what was it like? And then like how did you turn it around?
Yeah, I mean you would know out of everyone that I wasn't exactly the most model student for sure. I think growing up, having both parents working, and I would say having a more offhand approach to my education, I really formed my own way of doing things. You know, I didn't have someone behind my back going after me for, you know, homework or making sure I studied enough, or um, making sure I was doing assignments on time. So for all the students who think they have a turbulent time in high school, you know, not too late to turn it around. Um, I think for me personally, going from a very spontaneous student who just did things as they came, uh, to going from there to a more structured approach, I think I took that leap again around maybe in the middle of grade 11. So when I was about 17, having one or two quarters in IB under my belt, I think that, you know, I had gotten away with it for the most part up till grade 10 in terms of like, you know, not failing. But again, I think alongside the ramp up with just trying to get into one of those good, you know, one of the top universities, um, of course, as every probably junior and senior in high school feels right now, the pressure, maybe internal pressure, from pressure from parents, it kind of forced me to start thinking in a way that I had not thought before. You know, actually planning to you know, time box hours to study, time box hours to do work, actually plan ahead and not just do an entire 3 weeks worth of work in like 7 hours without sleeping. So it just forced me to think more methodically, especially because as you know, IB probably out of all the senior high school programs contains the most work. So definitely, yeah, I think that's how my progression pretty much went.
Yeah. And then in terms of your application when you're applying to colleges, what part was the hardest for you?
I think I think what was the hardest for me, I remember, wasn't I feel like most of the time in this world, I feel like people do tend to like to talk about themselves, right? And so um it's, you know, when you have a conversation with someone and there's no time limit and you're just having like a nice lunch like we had earlier, it's really easy to just talk about yourself all day. But you know, when there's suddenly a very sharp constraint, which is what the personal statements were, and you had to synthesize who you were as a person and concentrate that into, you know, only 750 and 800 words. You know, how do you do that, right? At that point in your life, you've lived 17 years, which is very young still, but you've had a lot of experiences. You've had, you know, you're still 17, so nobody would blame you if you didn't figure out exactly who you were. And so, how do you concentrate? I remember the biggest question for me is how do you concentrate who you are as a person and deliver it to the essay reader in a way that you think could get them to feel something. You could get them to feel like, oh, I can feel his. This is who Matthew is as a person.
Yeah.
Especially me, you know, being very talkative. So putting a limit on that was a bit crazy. And so I remember going through all the drafts with you, all the essays.
Do you remember what your personal statement for Common App was about? The topic?
I think I do. I think it was on the startup I did. With a friend Savior. We did this startup for as Jakarta was pedestrianizing their roads more and more, and there were more walkways. We wanted to find a way to encourage change in culture, a change in lifestyle for Indonesian people and Jakartans especially to walk more. And so we developed an app. It's called Walk Aja, where we try to find a way to incentivize walking by tracking their steps, and then partnering with small businesses and other partners to give them benefits for that, for the amount of miles they walk. So it's mainly about that for sure. I think it's mainly about that. Yeah.
Okay. I remember that actually. I remember
Yeah.
that app. That was a pretty cool story.
It was interesting for sure. I think it's fun to look back on.
Yeah. And in terms of your the exact moment that you got into UCLA, where were you? I think I kind of remember this story, but I think you were like on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy story. It was a crazy story. Um, so that day I got into UCLA, I would have never actually opened the application if not for my friend Cillian. So again, after you know me, my personality, after I finished submitting my applications, I completely forgot about when results came out. Like I would have to be notified by a friend. If not, I would never open it.
Mm.
So that morning we were actually on we were supposed to go on a trip to Bali, my family and I, just to stay and have a good time. And I remember waking up that morning and I'm not a morning person, so I was very late. To the air. So everyone was in the car
Mm.
outside the house. All my family was sick. All five were in the car except me. So I woke up to the morning at UCLA by my older sister screaming very violently for me to get in the car. Um, Obviously, it's like getting bomb rushed. So I was very bewildered and confused. I just grabbed whatever I could to wear. I rushed into the car. I didn't even know if my luggage was in the car or not. I remember that. I was like, oh, will I have clothes for Bali? But so I got in the car, very disheveled and still very sleepy. And we're on the way to the airport. My mom is on a business call right behind me, so I'm trying not to speak too much. And then I get a text from Sabian. It's like, hey, UCLA decisions came out. Have you opened yours yet? Everyone has opened theirs already. For my grade. And he's yes. And I was like, no. I, it came out today? And they're just like, yeah, they announced it a week ago. And I was like, I didn't hear about that. I mean, I would have never heard about that. So I was like, okay, I'll go check right now. Sure. I'm in the front seat, right? I'm in the front seat of this car. And so I go and check. And it says, yeah, it says congratulations for getting into UCLA. And I was like, ah. And I turned around and my family was right behind me, right? And everyone's sitting in the back. And so I just like because again, my mom was on a business call, so I couldn't talk. So I just like kind of like showed very slowly like I got it in UCLA guys. My mom was very shocked, that me out of all people. So she was like, I remember her going to her business friend. She's like, hey, something really important just came up. I have to hang up and call you back later. And then she hangs up. And then that's when the car gets on. Everyone's like, what? You? And I'm like, yeah, me. And so, and the rest of that Bali trip, I remember arriving to the airport, still not really believing it because I know that I just felt very fortunate. I think at the airport and on the way to Bali. I remember that flight. I felt like I was like on cloud nine because I had to thank God for that. I think the effort I put into high school in proportion to the result, and definitely you could say I got bang for my buck in terms of getting into UCLA. And so I just felt very relieved and very grateful. Just felt very grateful that I had this opportunity.
Nice. And I remember that before you went to UCLA, you had to do national service in Singapore for 2 years.
Right.
How was that like? Did it change your perspective, your life?
I think national service, um, definitely at first I was I definitely didn't feel great about it. I think um, growing up in international schools in Jakarta, everyone's always talking about what uni you get in, how fast you're doing. Definitely you can get caught up in the pace of life. So when I went to national service, it felt like a setback for me, right? Because everyone's like, "Oh, I'm going to graduate 2 years later than everyone else. I'm going to see everyone have fun in uni while I'm doing random things." And so I at first definitely it was not great, but as I went through it, I think it just helped mature, helped accelerate my maturity into who I am today. I think I went from a very uh, spontaneous high school person to a very spontaneous and fun loving high school person to still a fun loving, but definitely I definitely have a more structured approach to life. Thanks to that, I definitely I kind of treated it like 2 gap years where I could really nail down. Hey, I thought to myself, hey, in my free time, I could do. research about programs at UCLA maybe. Since I already knew I was gonna go there, and oh, maybe I could do like research on careers, and see and truly question myself. Oh, what do I want to do post uni? Because you know everyone knows once you get to uni after high school, it's just another rush. Where in 4 years you're having fun, but you're also figuring things out. You hear a lot about people changing majors and everything, or wasted courses. And so I thought, hey, maybe if I could take the time to really nail down what I want to do specifically, I can avoid those pitfalls. And so that definitely helped as well. And so I felt like when I came into UCLA, uh, I came in with a very definitive goal in mind. I came in more grounded. I came in knowing uh, pretty much exactly what I wanted to do, exactly what I wanted to achieve. And I think it's helped tremendously at my time at UCLA, because I feel like in university, not just UCLA, but in a lot of other top universities around there, you have so much resources. Like, can't stress that enough, right? The career programs of those universities are always trying to offer their students so many different fields. They're exposing you to so many different things, and so being able to take those 3 years of NS to really dial down and you know really dial in and focus on what I want and help me utilize my resources in university a lot better, especially at a university like UCLA. Yeah.
And then when you first arrived at UCLA, because I know you're like 2 years older than the
Yeah,
freshman.
yeah, right.
What was that like, and did anything surprise you?
I think I had to remind myself that a lot of these kids are fresh out of high school.
Mhm.
Because even though it was like it was 2 years of national service, I think I grew up more than I did in my 4 years of high school. Like, I can't stress that enough. And so when I got to UCLA, no doubt a lot of the kids I met, a lot of my friends I have who are 2 years younger than me, they're smart for sure. I mean, some of them are really, really bright kids. Like, they're really go getters and everything. But um yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. You know, their point in life and my point in life were very different. A lot of them, again, as I said, very bright, but some of them definitely still were, coming into uni, undecided major, or like, hey, I'm in biochem, but I really don't know. I might change to mechanical engineering. It's like, whoa, that's like a completely different thing, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, uh, definitely freshman year, it was like a lot of just going around, um, seeing people figure things out, and trying to gel with them, even though it was a very different maturity level. They were still talking about like A level results, and I was like, "What? That's 2 years ago." Like, I barely remember my IB score anymore. You know. But one thing I think is not mentioned enough to Indonesian students here is that at the end of the day, age is really just a number. I think after we got over that difference,
Yeah.
they didn't feel any younger or older to me. I'm very thankful that the culture at UCLA is really great. Everyone's extremely friendly, and it made making friends very easy. Nowadays I just get the, whoa, you're 2 years older. That's crazy. But after that, it's like, pretty much as is. Yeah.
And in terms of the culture at UCLA, how is it like? What do you like about it?
Oh, I really think I told you this before. I really think UCLA is it was really the school for me to coming out of national service. I think UCLA, obviously, I'm extremely biased, but I think UCLA is one of the best college cultures you could ask for. Everyone is really friendly. Definitely a lot. The majority of people are on the extroverted side. So if any of your, if any future students of yours are more introverted, they'll definitely have to bring that side of them to campus, because everyone talks on campus. Could just sit somewhere and someone's gonna talk to you on campus. So just be prepared to talk to a lot of faces. Um, Everyone's also very helpful. Nobody likes to gatekeep from each other. I think everyone usually comes in with the mentality of scratching each other's back, just making sure that everyone has all the resources that as much resources as possible, and whoever gets the best result, not much jealousy there. Just we're all just striving to be the best people that we can be, have the best careers we can have. And I think because of that, creates a very homogeneous culture. And of course, UCLA, I mean, the reputation is true. We do like to have a lot of fun. We do like to go around and do a lot of things in LA. I mean, even though we are intense in terms of studying sometimes, UCLA is great for that balance where we definitely have a very strong work hard, play hard culture. So if your students like that, I would suggest they come to UCLA because I think that is, I would say, is the ethos of UCLA. It's work hard, play hard, right? You're in one of the most fun cities in the world. Yeah. But everyone likes to have fun, but you can tell everyone also respects and knows that we're at a really great college. And so we all strive to, when midterm and final season are on, we all strive to uphold that standard. So
Yeah. And do you have any like learned lessons that when you got to UCLA and LA, kind of like comparing to Jakarta, like how it's different and
oh yeah,
what you
for
learned from
sure.
it?
I think the biggest thing for me was opportunities don't wait for you. In Jakarta, maybe it's more structured, and obviously growing up next to the family, yeah, every kid here has a great sense of comfort. But when you get to a place as big as LA and as a school with as many opportunities as UCLA, you realize that certain opportunities don't come twice. And so sometimes you just, the sense of urgency to seize that opportunity, I had to learn freshman year for sure. It's also coming out of national service. Um, I just think there's LA and UCLA and almost any field that you would like to go into. There's so many unique experiences that are readily available for you to grab. But the onus is I quickly learned that the onus is on you to go out and get it, right? Nobody's gonna hand you anything now at college. Especially one with uh as big as UCLA, because you come to realize really quickly that, for this one position, there are 20, 30 extremely qualified individuals next to you at UCLA. Don't get me wrong, we're all competing, but again, we all are supportive of each other, and it just I definitely had to adjust and learn that, hey, when opportunities arrive at UCLA and LA, they're gone quickly. Yeah. So if you're the first to see it, or if you've been offered, sometimes you just really have to go for it, even though it can seem scary to you. Like one of these times I had to work, had an investment banking internship during the school year. And, the opportunity came, and obviously, as a student, you probably think twice, right? Because how am I going to manage a semi full time job and working and then studying, right? Yeah. But sometimes you can't really wait for that, because if you're not going to say yes, there's so many other qualified people in LA who will. And so that's a big adjustment for me.
Yes, I think it's a lot more competitive.
Yes.
And you have to be on your toes, like
Yeah, I mean,
all the time.
yeah, UCL and LA can't stress that enough. I mean, just so many bright people, yeah, on campus. It's crazy.
And in terms of your career goal, can you tell us like a bit about what you hope to accomplish in the future, and also like your internship in this past summer?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I can't hide it. I grew up in a finance related family. Mom did a lot of years in investment banking, and so growing up, being very close to her, fortunately, that's always been a goal in mine. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the world of finance and consulting. And so, coming into UCLA, I spent my 2 years of NS just diving down specifically which part of finance I wanted to do. If investment banking was really the right choice, I explored a lot of other options, talked to a lot of people, had a lot of coffee chats with different professionals in the industry during those 2 years. And so I did investment banking at DBS in Singapore during my first summer after at UCLA. Um, it was a very interesting experience. Definitely a lot of hours put in working. That caught me by surprise for sure. I mean, Singapore is a whole different ballgame from Jakarta. And so this summer I transitioned to consulting at Bain, Singapore office again, but I'm doing a few cases here in Jakarta and Singapore. And I've come to really like it. Just like any other school, UCLA is just like any other top school. UCLA is very big into consulting and finance as well. We're a growing target school for those areas. So please, to any of the students, come over, help us grow. Yeah. And so far it's been a great experience. It's in strategy and management consulting, you learn so much about different companies. You get to see things that not many other people get to see. You get exposed to very bright individuals as well. never hurts to be working with very very smart and fantastic people, frankly speaking. And so it's been great. In terms of career goals, I find myself really liking my time at Bain right now. I am probably going to come back next year to intern there again over the summer, and then from there probably full time. So I am pretty loyal guy to this one company.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's a good company. Great company.
yeah, people are great over there.
And in terms of like kind of like a quick fun questions is who are like some famous person that you've met in LA so far since LA is
That is a great question. Earlier I really mentioned to you. I guess it's more U.S. famous, but Tom Brady likes to come around to UCLA and throw often.
Yeah, the
So
football.
so yeah, so I see him quite often. Um, I once was watching a movie nearby at near UCLA. I was watching a movie with a couple of UCLA friends, and funny story. We finished the movie. I was like, hey, I want to go to the toilet real quick. And we were going to the toilet, and this one, we were going past another cinema, and like this one really tall individual came out, like really really tall individual, about as tall, almost as tall as the room we're sitting in right now. I was like, oh wow, this is really tall. He has to be a new thing, right? And so I go in the toilet, and this really huge individual follows me into the toilet, follows me and my friend into the toilet. So now we're all thinking, right? Me and my friends are like, he has to be something, right? He has to be something. He's wearing a hoodie too, so it's hard to see his face. Okay. So he pulls on his hoodie to wash his face, and obviously, bunch of 20-year-old curious individuals. We all immediately snap our heads to look at him in a discreet way. Look closer. It's like, dude, I think that's Magic Johnson, dude. Hold on. I was like, is that Magic Johnson? It's like, no, 100%. I look really closely. Oh no, that's 100% Magic Johnson. And I guess in terms of LA celebrities, I think it's one of the biggest.
Okay.
I mean, nobody in LA doesn't know Magic Johnson.
Yeah. You can say hi or nod your head.
I mean, I tried to be. It was like late night at 10 p.m. He looked like he just got out of like the movie with his like wife and kids. So I was just like, we definitely debated between like the four of us. You're like, should we? Man, I was just like, it's okay. Yeah. When we go to UCLA, we'll see him again sometime. Let's just go home. And so we all went home. But yeah, I think Magic Johnson, yeah, maybe the most famous.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. And after UCLA, what do you see yourself doing?
Again, consulting for now.
Yeah.
At Bain, but definitely I think after I spend some time there, I do want to do my own thing. Start my own business. Definitely either within the private equity space or the operational company. Preferably, I do have a fondness for the FMCG industry. Just grew up a lot around it, so I definitely would want to do something around that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But so far, just really enjoying my time at Bain. To any high school student who don't know about Bain yet, I think you should look it up. I think it's a really great place to be.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Matthew, for such an inspiring story. Good luck in UCLA for the next couple of years, and hopefully, to see you at Bain when you graduate.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.